Hey everyone, I'm back. And, after getting through yesterday and being alive today, I realized, I think I'm going to be able to do this. So here we are. I wanted to share another message with you, something that actually came to my mind just a few minutes ago. It was an event that happened with my child. I really, really love to have life itself be a teacher, be what is inspiring me in growth and to learn different things all the time. And I share with most every one of my clients, my friends, those who know me, that my greatest teacher are my children. And this particular event happened with my youngest child, James. He's 7 years old, and he has the biggest, most beautiful heart in the universe. I just am inspired by him every day. And this small little thing happened that I'm so grateful we captured because it was a learning experience for me. So, with his big old heart, sometimes, and with his ability to be persistent, other people can really quickly be annoyed. Maybe they're not ready to see that much beauty and love, or maybe they're not ready for his persistence or whatever it is. It might just because he's a little brother. But in one instance, he was following someone and trying to get their attention, tell him whatever it was. He was excited to show him, and his little heart kind of got crushed when they kind of pushed him out of the room and shut the door. And his face went from like, "I'm so excited to show you this," to, "Oh," and the pain kind of set in with him. And I watched his little face got angry and sad and frustrated and hurt, and this deep wound kind of was inside and you could see it. And as a parent, you get to look at something like that and your heart just wrenches because it hurts to watch someone you love be in pain. And so my wife and I tried to reach out to him, and he ignored us because he's angry, he's hurting, he's there. And then he did something that just blew my mind. He walked over to this little poem that this person had written for him when they were in a good state. And it says, "My little Bubbas." And he walked over and he stood in front of this poem and he looked at it with this pain that he's holding. And he's got this feeling. And then he looks at it and you watch him start to read the poem. And he's standing there. And then all of a sudden, his back goes straight, his head goes up, and his body lightens, and the smile returns to his face as this 7-year-old kid reminded me and my wife what it means to choose. He chose love over resentment and anger. He chose love over the story that he could have been holding in his head about him not being enough, or about that person being a jerk, about casting victims and villains and heroes. Instead, he just went back to love. And I watched a 7-year-old do something that sometimes I can't do. And it just, boom, hit me. Oh my gosh. There's my example right there. We all have the power to choose. It happens to be one of the most important things in the entire universe. I have written here, how important is choice? I kind of feel like it was the whole war before this all began was about, and it's what's still raging on right now. In fact, if I just speaking sheerly from my own perspective and paradigm, I would say it's the one thing that I have inside of myself that no one else can take. There is nothing someone could take from me that I couldn't freely give, because I have agency to choose. I have agency to choose how I want to perceive an event of my life. And so much of our pain, so much of my pain that I've ever carried has been because I've chosen to perceive an event of my life so poorly that I had all this anger, frustration, resentment, and stuff building up inside. But it was my choice all along. to recognize that our brains are magnificent, our bodies are magnificent, our inherent nature is magnificent. And when we let that be the guiding factor in our life, oh my goodness, because our minds, our conscious minds have a really cool ability and have one superpower, and that's it. That's either they can either choose to make a decision and cut off or away from a pattern of the past, or they can choose to let the pattern continue and then they justify it. So they can justify a pattern or they can make a decision. That's a superpower of our conscious brain. Okay? That's pretty much it. It's a binary choice. Move to growth or be comfortable over here. You can choose growth or you can choose comfort. So what do you want to choose? Where do you want to engage with your agency? Where do you want to exercise your agency? If you're not exactly happy with exactly where you are, well, then choose to change it. You can. I don't care. And if you're fighting this right now, that's okay. That's totally fine. If you're like, well, that's BS. This person or this circumstance was not my choice. You're right. It wasn't necessarily your choice to have that thing happen, but it is your choice how you frame the thing that happened. I don't believe in victimhood. And yet sometimes as a human, and I'll be honest with you, I found myself solidly framing myself as a victim. But then there's my kid again, reminding me in the midst of his pain and hurt and frustration, he chose love over comfort. He chose growth over stagnation and stuck energy. So that was my message for you today. Hopefully it can serve you and you can realize where maybe you frame something that has brought about the very feeling that you're saying that you don't like. And it can empower you. You can be reminded that it's your choice. You get to decide how you frame the events of your life. You're the one that puts meaning on each of the events that show up. So how do you want to live your life? Do you want to choose growth, or would you rather stay comfortable in your patterns? Your mind, your unconscious mind, its entire job is just to keep you corralled into your comfort zone where it knows you're safe, or at least it thinks you're safe. It doesn't really care about your happiness and joy and all those things. It just wants to survive, even if you find yourself as a victim. And I say you have more in you than that. So if you want to, join with me. I'm going to be continuing these calls or these little messages each day if I can. And I'm getting a little bolder here because I'm still alive from yesterday when I did my first one. And I hope that they can add value to your life and we can continue to connect. Thank you for everyone who reached out to me yesterday on text message or Messenger. It meant a lot to me. And some of my friends I have not seen in a very long time. Thank you so much. And have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you later.